From Earth to Moon: The Theory of the Planet Earth and its Moon. Before we get started, I just want to give my disclaimer. This is only a theory. So I would ask that you just please clear your mind, take this information in for what it is, and you be the judge. The theory is the moon is not real. It's just plasma. The moon is just a reflection of the Earth. I know you don't believe me, so take a look at this. Here's our moon. Now here's planet Earth. Moon, Earth. For some odd reason, our continents line up perfectly with the terrain of the moon. So when you look into the sky at the moon, you're looking at an exact replica of your planet. And if this is true, the moon is showing us that there is a lot of land that we never knew about that is undiscovered. Planet Earth is much larger than what we've been taught in school. Landmass under our continent called the Terra del Vista. And there's also a landmass above the Americas called Lemura, if I'm saying that correctly. So in 1965, a scientist by the name of Mr. Foster decided that he would go up against conventional science and state the claims that the moon is plasma. Here is his interview.
You see, here is the sea, Mr. Sanders, so calm and apparently unchanging, and yet it is part of my new conception about the nature of the world. At this same sea, many times in the past history of our Earth, has rolled over the surfaces of the land masses, sweeping away all life and vegetation, and eventually returning again to its former bed.
Inspirations are related to thoughts of genius. Do you think or consider yourself to be a genius?
No. I consider myself to be an ordinary, humble person who wants to serve mankind with what man has striven for from the beginning of consciousness, with truth and understanding of the world.
Well, now, one thing, you have a theory about the moon, and we expect to be able to get observable facts about the moon fairly soon. What is your theory?
Well, it is by now rather more than a theory. 10 or 11 years ago, I stated to various scientists that the moon is not a piece of rock, but it is a plasma phenomenon, a cosmic plasma, and that this fact will eventually be confirmed. I made certain predictions which were already confirmed in 1958, and the situation now is coming close to a complete confirmation.
What will be the result if you're proved to be correct in your theories?
The result will be profound and decisive, because it will give proof that a complete reinvestigation of the laws of nature is necessary. Because if the moon is a plasma, no man will ever land on it. The soft landing attempts will all fail. That means that the mass of the moon is less, far less than is currently assumed. It's in a different state of energy, and it has far less mass. That means there is no more explanation for the tides. If the moon, for example, had only a thousandth part of its current mass, then the tides would only be 2 inches high under conventional theories instead of sometimes 14 feet. And that means that if it is proved that the moon is a plasma, then all gravitational theories are out, and a new concept of the cosmos and of its laws has to be evolved.
But the Americans and Russians are thinking of landing men on it.
Well, that will never happen. The moon is definitely, as I assert, a plasma.
T-minus 15 seconds. Guidance is internal. 12, 11, 10, 9. Ignition sequence starts. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. All engine running. Liftoff. We have a liftoff. 32 minutes past the hour. Liftoff on Apollo 11. Tower clear.
So the Earth is just a small portion of what we call a superplanet. So the theory of the Earth being round is true, and the theory of the Earth being flat is also true. It's like a quarter. The quarter is round, but at the same time it's flat. So according to this image, all the other craters on this superplanet are different planets, like Mars, Saturn, Jupiter, and so on. Makes you think, huh?
This is Phase Ed Music.
This is Richard E. Byrd, U.S. Naval Officer, Pioneer, Aviator, and Polar Explorer, best known for his explorations of Antarctica using airplanes and other modern technical resources. Reputedly was the first man, along with crew member Floyd Bennett, to fly over the North Pole on May 9th, 1926.
Admiral Byrd, you've been to both the North Pole and the South Pole. Is there any unexplored land left on this earth that might appeal to adventurous young Americans?
Yes, there is. But strangely enough, there's left in the world today an area as big as the United States that's never been seen by a human being. And that's beyond the pole on the other side of the South Pole from Middle America. And I think it's quite astonishing that there should be an area as big as that unexplored.
This is a tremendous
So
challenge.
there's a lot of adventure left down at the bottom of the world.
So, a lot of controversy. Is it flat? Is it round? Are we spinning? Is there a curvature? Here's another theory. It kind of mixes both. And after watching Martin's video, shout out to you, bro, I decided to make a 3D version presentation of the whole thing with my own couple spins. I urge you to watch his videos too. Links will be in the description. So let's walk through how this universe may have started. Step 1. Out of the void, the Holy Trinity gets created. Birth, life, death. Repeat. Step 2. The Holy Trinity creates its womb to protect itself from itself, the void. Then, the Trinity separates into 3. Positive, neutral, and negative. Next step, the cosmic vortex is created. This gives us our oscillations, our weather, our currents, our airflow, etc. Then, our actual Earth, the rock, a 3-level pyramid on both sides. We are on the 3rd plane. This gives us our 4 elements of life: air, earth, water, and fire. Up above, the galaxies and the stars and the firmament are put in place. Next, we have our toroidal fields. These electromagnetic fields protect and separate all the lands. They also oscillate at different speeds, giving us all our rotations of the different planets. Next, the suns and moons are put in place. 3 suns, 3 moons, with Mercury in the middle, acting as both a sun and a moon. And there you have it, Earth, the universe, within a multiverse, within a masterverse. We can't get past lower Earth orbit. That's that first toroidal field to the lands of Mars and Venus. The Antarctic is not the South Pole. The Antarctic is the perimeter around that first toroidal field. When they say they're going to outer space, it doesn't mean up. It doesn't mean to land on stars. You can't do that. It means to go outside the perimeter to outer lands. When they talk about alien life forms or other life forms, it means coming from these other lands. So who knows what's beyond those perimeters? That could be the land of the aliens. Maybe we're the aliens. Maybe the outer perimeter has even more life forms and resources and inhabitable land. Maybe some of us already get to go there. One thing's for sure, if this is true, I could see why they'd want to hide it. The resources on these planes are obviously limited if this is all designed. If there really is a dome above us, and we're stuck here, and we can prove it, then the first thing we'll want to do is break out, figure it out. Why is it here? Why are we here? Who built this? Next, the religions will probably all claim they were right. Next, chaos, panic. The elite have done a great job at the divide and conquer campaigns over the last generations. Now, it's down to gender wars, identity wars, regional wars, resource wars, and the most important, the war on your mind, body, soul, spirit, perceptions, indoctrination of who you think you should become and what you should spend your life doing. We're not unified, and that's the last thing they want. This scares some people. This makes others laugh. They'll continue believing we're spinning on a ball, defying all kinds of logistics. But okay. The cool thing though, is we're having a mass awakening. All the holy books pretty much tell this same story, just giving all the variables and planets and suns and moons their own names and actors and stories to go by. Being in the arts for the last 25 years, well, my whole life really, but professionally for 25 years, I understand one thing's for sure about music, art, feelings, and this world itself, and that's frequencies and oscillations. And we all come from a sine wave, operate in oscillations and cycles, and so does this planet. It breathes, it goes through cycles, it goes through patterns. The suns and moons go through multiple oscillations at the same time. This model also explains lunar and solar eclipses rather easily, rainbows, color theory, etc. also rather easily. The point of this, if any, don't let it scare you, even if all of it is true. If anything, this should help you at least gain some knowledge, become a little more illuminated, and understand your life, your body, your mind, your soul is also a big oscillation machine, and you should be oscillating every single day at your full potential.